Let's start off our day with something wonderful, or hear a story about someone being marvelous. Let's make today wonderless. This is the podcast that gives you a daily dose of happy, uplifting, feel-good stories from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Wonderlous News. I'm Hoyt Christopher. Let's get right to it. Our first story of the day is a teen jumps into an icy lake to rescue an 83-year-old man and his dog. Wow. This story, top of the hour for us right now. This one is this high school athlete. He jumped into the icy lake over in Iowa where this happened. The Jeep that the gentleman was in, the 83-year-old gentleman, had broken through the ice and was quickly sinking. This athlete, this high school athlete, Joe Salmon, I think his name is. Yes, Joe Salmon. He jumped into the water, didn't think about it, went to the back of the car, grabbed the dog, got the dog out first, gave it to some bystanders, jumped into the car, grabbed the older gentleman, and pulled him out to safety. Both the dog and the owner are fine. So is our hero, Joe. But wow. Can you imagine seeing that before your eyes, seeing a car with someone in it, or in this case, a gentleman and their dog in this car sinking quickly in an icy lake? Oh, man. Well, Joe's not necessarily just a high school athlete. He's in like 3 different varsity sports. I think wrestling, football, something else. I mean, the guy is tuned up and ready to help people. And there he was, saving the day. And this 83-year-old man, so thankful that this happened, that he was able to save him and his dog. Dog's a cute little dog that got saved as well. So great story. Love hearing and seeing that, we can all go out of our way to do some good. And in this case, Joe was risking his life. If he had misstepped or gotten caught on the car, he could have been pulled down as well. So it has a happy ending for everybody. Hero and the gentleman and the dog that were stranded in the car. They're all safe now. So great story. Awesome gentleman Joe. He's Gentleman Joe. Let's call him Gentleman Joe. All right, next story. Heroic man. Another heroic man saves a child hanging for his life from an 8th-story floor. So that's right. So I kind of mumbled on that one. This guy, there was a toddler hanging from an 8th-story window. It's a skyscraper in Kazakhstan, okay? And this guy noticed the toddler, and the pictures are insane. So go to the link in the body of the podcast, and you can see it. It's also on the YouTube channel. And this guy crawls out of the window, the floor below, on the 7th floor, and goes up and grabs the kid and pulls him back in. 8 floors up. And this toddler, looks like he's 3 or 4. I got a 3-year-old, man. A 3-year-old who's almost 4. Can you imagine having your 3 or 4-year-old stranded 8 floors up outside and not on a ledge? It's not on a ledge. He's on a window, like one of those windows that, if you crank it, it pops open to let air out. The kid somehow got out and on top of the window. There's no ledge below the window. It's just the window's popped out and the kid was on top of the window. And this guy crawled out and got on there, saved him, and pulled him back in. It's unbelievable. Scary to see, but again, a good story, a happy story with a happy ending. So we like that here. Well, that takes us to our Wonderless moment of the day. So our Wonderless moment of the day is brought to you by our sponsor, Rise by Shaman Angelina. She has an amazing site on Etsy with her jewelry and other things that she sells, handmade coastal jewelry. She makes these beautiful necklaces with sea glass, just incredible stuff. And her Wonderless moment of the day, sponsored by her, is going to feature Planet Earth pulling away from the camera with some really cool music. So again, reminding us how small we are on this massive planet, in this massive universe. So take about 20 seconds, watch this shot of Earth pulling away from the camera, and listen to the music and sort of reset. Here we go. That's so cool. What an experience it will be for us, and maybe not all of us, maybe it'll be for my kids and not me, but to get a chance to go to space, right? I mean, traveling space and seeing Earth from a position like that, what an incredible sight. I mean, the camera images are amazing. It gives us an idea of what it looks like, but imagine really, really being there up in space and seeing Earth, seeing the moon, or maybe being on the moon, maybe on the moon looking at Earth. I think that someday, sooner than later, there will be a lunar station, space station, right, on the moon. We'll have multiple countries represented there, and it'll be probably some sort of area where we do mining to get certain minerals that could be beneficial for resources, for fuel. And then, of course, they talk about that being sort of a liftoff position to go to Mars. I mean, at least that's what Elon Musk has talked about. So, but what a great shot. Thank you for that sponsored moment of the day by Rise by Shaman Angelina. So our next segment is 3 women stand up for the well-being and rights of other mothers. This is a topic close enough to home for me to talk about in many ways. One, hats off to Toby Acer. She's one of the founders of this community. It's called My Bump Pay, and it's a community online, and I think also they meet in person when they can, if they're there, if they're local enough. But it's all these women that are supporting each other they just had their child. They're not back in the workforce yet, or they're getting ready to go back in the workforce. And some of them have come up against some really brutal lack of labor rights, right? So employers not recognizing the need or the law that says you cannot discriminate against a woman who has had a baby that wants to go back to work. You just can't. You're not supposed to do that. It's not fair. And it's not right. Right. So this group has been really amazing. They've helped each other out. They've really opened those doors, and they've been pushing up against these labor rights that are not being upheld. And in addition to that, not just rights, but a lot of these women are having their children and then going through postpartum depression, which for us men, unless you have a wife that's gone through it, which my wife, I think she did. And it makes sense because your hormones are all out of whack when you have a baby. Your body as a woman is feeding the baby. Your hormones are balancing everything out. Then that baby is now delivered, and your body is trying to adjust itself back. And so that really can throw a woman's hormones out of whack. And it's, it creates for many women postpartum depression, which can be debilitating. And it sounds horrible, and would not want my wife or anyone else I know to go through that. And then on top of that, to have someone basically push up against or keep you from trying to get your job back or go back into your career because you took time out to have a baby. So this group, again, My Bump Pay, is doing a phenomenal job. Love that about them. And another feel-good story. They're helping women in their community to really get past these obstacles and get through this depression and come out the other side a better person and a better mother. So, this is the part, Wonderlous Thought, where we could be talking and reading a story from one of you. We don't have one today, so I'll sort of springboard off of what we just talked about with my bump pay. Children, I mean, can you imagine that all of us have been children, right? I think about that when I look at my kids, and then I look at adults, and I think, they were kids once, right? Even the adults that you don't like so much, right? Those that are in trouble, those that are mean, you're thinking you were just a kid once. And I think with these women need the support of men and women in their community, employers, community advisors. They shouldn't have to go through the obstacles of getting their career back. We need to make room for these women to leave, to have their children, and to successfully come back to their careers and continue to contribute to their community and their country and society. And so that's one. And the other one is depression. If you've never had it, you're not going to understand it. And for us men, we don't go through postpartum depression, at least not that I'm aware of. I'm not a doctor, but but watching our wives, our partners go through that, we need to be more understanding that I don't know what you're going through, right? I don't know what's happening in your daily life, and you don't know what's happening in mine. Even if you talk to me, even if you're my best friend and we're discussing these, you're going to understand and relate a little bit more because you're going to get that information from me. But walking down the street, meeting someone, at a restaurant or coming across someone in an elevator, you don't know what their day's like. You know what they're going through. And depression can really be a major contributing factor to an illness that we need to get a handle on. It's important for us to be sympathetic. It's important for us to be supportive. So that's my Wonderlous thought. Give a little more support, a little bit more of that attention and understanding to those that we don't know what's going on, but we want them to be better. We want them to feel better. Imagine this world, imagine society with men and women, children that were happy, they felt good, they felt safe. Everyone's educated. I mean, is this a utopia, right? Everyone on this planet, educated, safe, provided for, water, food, resources, shelter, energy. It's not equal across the board, and it's really sad, but it's not. Maybe we start with compassion. So that's my Wonderless thought. But look, if you have a story that you want to tell, send it to me, email it to me. The email is on the screen. You can also get on to message me through the link as well that you see down there in the context and on the screen. But email at wonderlessnews@gmail.com. Tell me, what the story's about, include photos, video, the whole thing. Mention your name or not your name, and we'll read it here on the show. In the meantime, thanks for watching and listening. I'm Hoyt Christopher. I'll see you and talk to you tomorrow.